Please subscribe my YouTube channel and press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another updates from my YouTube channel. Hello guys, so today I'm going to talk about how we are going to create filters in the Spring Boot. Okay, so to work with this, so we need to create one Spring Boot project here. So let's create filter as a group ID and artifact as like Spring filter, and let's add few dependencies here, that is Spring Web and Lombok. So if you want to work with Lombok, you can add Lombok here, and you can generate this project, and after that you can import into your ID. I already imported this project to save the time. So let's create one controller guys. So inside controller package I'm going to create welcome control here, and let's annotate with REST controller, and let's add one method, that is wish method here. Okay, just I'm returning one string here and with the help of welcome endpoint. Okay, and again I'm going to create filter here. So inside the filter package I'm going to create logging filter. Okay, inside this logging filter I'm going to implement the filter, that is servlet filter guys, and let's implement the methods. So we have do filter method, so let's implement the do filter method, and inside the do filter method so we need to provide some request on the response. Let's take HTTP servlet request and HTTP servlet response here. Okay, I just cast it into HTTP servlet response, and let's take logger here. So we need to print something here, right? So let's add request here, log.info request information. So here I need to print like request. So let's get request method and request.get request URI and request URL guys, and after that so I need to get it request.get server port as well. So let's get it. Okay, let's modify that and let's copy this, and filter chain dot we need to do filter, right? So let's pass request and response here, and let's paste this request here and just modify as response. And so I need to print the response as well. So let's take response dot get content type here, and let's take response dot get status as well. Okay, so let's start this application and let's test this. So let's hit our endpoint here, so that is welcome. Okay, we got it like welcome to my YouTube channel here, and go here and check it out. So we got request filter here. Okay, so this is logging filter. So we got the response here get method and 8080 port number and request URI and request URL as well, and we got the response information, that is content type, and we got it 200 as a status. Okay, so now let's create one more filter. Okay, so that is my filter. So inside that filter, so I'm going to implement filter, that is servlet filter here, and let's implement our method, that is do filter. And so let's copy this code guys. So logger and this HTTP servlet request and response and logger information to save the time, and let's paste here. And so let's modify this logger here. So I'm going to put some name. So inside so my filter here. Okay, and let's add filter chain dot do filter. Let's pass request and response here. That's it, and let's add component here. So it has to be treated as component, right? So let's add component. So here we have two filters, right? So we have to add order here. Okay, so to execute in order, so we have to add order. So let's add order as 1 here, and let's copy this order and come to this logging filter. So add order here as well, and let's add order here as 2. So let's restart our server Okay, server started guys. So let's hit our endpoint here and come to the console and see. So first of all, like we got it. So inside filter, my filter, okay, my filter is executed, so it is showing as logging filter because we haven't changed my filter log name here, so that is the reason it's showing log filter guys. Okay, so that's fine. So it's printed like first my filter and after that it's printed log filter here. Okay, so as per order it's printed here. Okay, so here we have only single endpoint guys. Okay, so what if like if you have like multiple endpoints, so here we have like component, right? So that means like it's going to be execute like all the endpoints inside our welcome controller here. Okay, so let's say that we have another endpoint that is public string message. This is going to be written like hello guys. So let's add wish endpoint here. Okay, now so this wish endpoint. Okay, and now so I'm going to write like one filter registration bean here to execute like specific URL pattern here. Okay, so let's add bean here. So we need to add like public, so filter registration bean. Okay, it's going to take like filter guys, so I'm going to pass here logging filter here. Okay, and so here we need to create so filter registration bean, and let's create this registration bean, and after that so registration bean dot set filter, we need to set the filter that is logging filter, and we need to set the URL pattern as well. Okay, so that is like wish, and after that we need to add order here. Okay, so if you have like multiple filter registration beans, so which bean has to be executed the first, so we have to add the order, and let's return this registration bean here. Okay, so let's copy this bean and copy one more bean here. Okay, so that is my filter here. Let's change this name to okay my filter, and let's change this logging filter to my filter, and let's copy this and paste here as well. Okay, so the endpoint is wish only, and let's change this order to so this is second order. Okay, so that's it guys. So come to this logging filter, let's remove this component the order because we are going to execute the specific URL pattern. Okay, and let's come here into this my filter as well, remove this component the order, and you can restart your server. Okay, our server is started. So let's hit the endpoint guys. So if you execute the welcome endpoint, so this time we should not able to see that any filter set because we are executing like specific filter, right? That is wish filter here. Okay, and that is wish filter here. Okay, so let's hit the wish endpoint here, and we got the output hello guys, and come here and we can see the filters execution. Okay, so first of all like it's executed like logging filter, and after that my filter. Okay, so as per the order it's executed guys. So this is another way of like executing filters. So okay guys, so now I'm going to talk about how we can integrate so this filter with the Swagger. Okay, so to work with the Swagger, so we need a configuration. So let's create Swagger configuration here. Okay, so create a package config. Inside the configuration package I'm going to create Swagger config here. Okay, I already have this Swagger configuration. Okay, so let's copy this and let's paste here. Okay, so this is Swagger configuration I just enabled here, and we have like so APIs and the path information guys, and it's going to be written this Swagger configuration here. So let's open welcome controller here. So here we have two endpoints, right? So wish and welcome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add request mapping here. Okay, let's add request mapping. So inside the request mapping I'm going to provide API here. Okay, And so we have a single controller. So if you have like multiple controllers, so let's add like one more controller here. So that is, I'm going to create one more controller, that is employee controller. Okay, inside the employee controller I'm going to annotate with the rest controller, and let's add request mapping here. Okay, and provide API here. So let's add like one more method, so that is add employee. So let's return some string, that is employee added successfully. Okay, so get mapping, so I'm going to provide like employees here. And so we have two controllers now. Okay, let's open our Spring Filter main application. So here we need to add like one more filter registration bean. So let's copy like this filter bean here, and here I'm going to change this name as filter. I'm going to change this name as Swagger filter, guys. Okay, and let's change this my filter. Okay, so let it be my filter here. And now I'm going to change this URL pattern here. Instead of wish, I'm going to add API here. So now it's going to be execute like all the endpoints related to this API, guys. Okay, so order is not required, let's remove this. And so this about two filter registration meals also not required, let's remove this. Okay, so we are going to test the Swagger endpoint, that is the reason I commented that. So let's restart my application. It started, guys. So let's hit our endpoint. So let me open my Swagger endpoint here. Okay, so this is the URL of Swagger, and here I have like two controllers, that is employee controller and we have welcome controller. Okay, so let's open employee controller here. So we have an endpoint, let's execute this. Okay, we got an output like employee added successfully. Okay, and come to console here, and you can see this filter execution. Okay, so my filter is executed successfully. Okay, we have another controller, right? So let's open our welcome controller here, and let's execute one endpoint, that is welcome endpoint here. Okay, and come back to console, and you can see this inside my filter. Okay, my filter is executed. So let's execute again and come back to console. You can see this my filter execution here. Okay, it's executed successfully. We have like wish endpoint as well. Let's execute this and come back to console. I can see this my filter execution here. Okay, so we have executed like all the endpoints related to these two controllers. So we got the output from this my filter here. Okay, now I'm going to talk about once per request filter. Okay, let's create one filter. So that is like single execution filter, abstract class, guys. Okay, and this is a once per request filter. So it will have like do filter internal method. So here we can add the logic. So let's copy the logs here and come back, and let's paste the logs here, and let's add log information here. So once per request filter is invoked. Okay, so let's add like filter chain do filter method. Okay, so here I need to add like component, and let's restart this application, guys. So it's going to take like couple of seconds, so let's wait for that. So application is started, guys. So open our Swagger and let's execute this wish endpoint here. So we got like once per request filter is invoked, guys. Okay, so it's executed like this filter, but in the logger we haven't changed that name, so let's change that name. Okay, and it's executed this once per request filter here. Okay, and so let's stop the server and let's create one more filter. Okay, so that is like So custom servlet filter. Okay, so let's implement filter here. So here let's add implemented method, that is do filter method. Okay, and let's copy logger and this HTTP request and response information from this filter, guys. Okay, and so let's change this logger information here. So let's add logger into custom servlet filter. Okay, so let's change this logger here. So that is our custom servlet filter invoked. Okay, so that's it. And let's add so web filter here. So this is servlet web filter, and after that we have to add the endpoint information. So I'm going to execute the wish endpoint here. Let's add that. Okay, open our main application here, and let's add one more annotation here. So that is like at the rate of servlet component scan to execute that web filter here. Okay, and here so let's add filter chain that do filter. Okay, and after that we need to add the component. Either you can add component or like filter registration bean. Okay, I just added component to execute that filter. And so let's open this single execution filter. You can comment this. Okay, it's not required. Let's restart our application here. It's going to take a couple of seconds again. So application started. Let's open Swagger URL. Let's execute our wish endpoint here and come back to our console. You can check this. Okay, so this time like it's executed custom servlet filter, guys. Okay, so it's working fine. Custom servlet filter is invoked here. That's it, guys. Please like and subscribe my YouTube channel.